stone to the next game. Either that or in the hood with the best cane. Little league from Rotary
What is up,
to
guys?
Exchange.
Welcome to another
And I still
episode of
remember when the
Maximilian
first
MaxMknow.
checks came.
We did Dior's Eau Sauvage Parfum a few weeks back, and now we're doing a scent from Dior's private line. For the most part, these private line scents are a lot harder to get your hands on than the regular Dior bottles, which are available in most fine department stores and spots like Sephora as well. To get your hands on the private blend, you've got to get yourself to one of the Dior boutiques, either in Vegas or New York or LA. Thankfully, I live in NYC, so it was pretty easy for me to get over to the boutique between 57th between Park and Madison, and look around a bit. I actually work in that area on 59th Street. And even though the bottles are harder to get ounce for ounce, they're not that much more expensive. They come in three sizes: 4.25 ounces, 8.5 ounces, and evidently, though I haven't seen them, they've got 17-ounce bottles as well. The smaller ones, the 125 ml bottles, go for $190. The 250 milliliter bottles go for $270. I think that 4 ounces is usually enough juice for anyone, so that's probably the best buy. And the prices have gone up a little bit recently. I think the smaller bottles went from $155 to $170, now to $190. But when you consider a retail of a Dior scent, a 50 ml scent, at about $60, like Fahrenheit and Eau Sauvage, these are kind of on line with those prices. They're just a little bit more expensive, and these are really well made. Even though there's some I really don't like. And when I first heard about these higher-end Dior scents, I watched a lot of videos. I read a lot online, and I was really interested in three scents: Oud Leather, Eau Noir, and Bois d'Argent. And I got my hands on samples of each one. I got a sample of Oud Leather from Randy's Sample Shop on the Badger and Blades website. That was my formal introduction to Oud, as a matter of fact. And I got Eau Noir and Bois d'Argent from the Decant Shop for my sample shopping videos. And I thought Oud Leather was abhorrent, which really disappointed me because Mark liked it so much when he did his purchase video of what he picked up in New York. And I thought, you know, maybe I was bugging out, but then I saw a seasoned veteran nose like Cody Drakdock named it as one of his 10 worst scents. He said it felt like he smelled like shit on his arm. I felt a little bit better about that. I also didn't like Eau Noir. From that, I got an Aunt Jemima maple syrup meets spicy Indian food vibe, and I just found it very unpleasant. On the other hand, I found Bois d'Argent to be a very light and friendly powdery fragrance that I quite enjoyed, but not enough to own 4 ounces of it. So it was back to the drawing board. A lot of people seem to like Amber Nuit. There's another reviewer out there, Sebastian, who has a channel, Man Loves Cologne, and he's got a great nose. You should check his channel out if you haven't. He did a review on one of their scents called Mitzah. He said it was discontinued, so I wasn't sure if they'd have it at the boutique. And then someone else I really trust, Creed Frags, in his channel, he really enjoyed the Vetiver scent, another great channel. And I went online and looked that up, and I really dug those notes on that. They were just Vetiver grapefruit and coffee. So I went in thinking, okay, I'll buy that probably, or Mitzah if that's there. And then one of my subscribers, Wags Bass, convinced me to check out Oud Isifam. That's an oud scent that Dimache created, and along with the oud notes, it's also got patchouli, rose, and labdanum. So I went in thinking I'll either get Amber Nuit, Mitzah, Vetiver, or Oud Isifam, unless the salesperson shows me something that they really like. I was going to probably go in and buy one of those fragrances. And as soon as I walked in and talked to the sales associate, she told me that Mitzah and Vetiver were indeed both going to be discontinued, but if I liked them, I should grab them right then and there. They didn't have a tester of Mitzah though, so I smelled Oud Isifam, Amber Nuit, and Vetiver. I liked Vetiver a lot, but it smelled like more of a spring, summery fragrance to me. I also liked Oud Isifam and Amber Nuit. I really fell in love with Amber Nuit, but I didn't really feel pressure to get either of those bottles because they're going to be around for a while. So I told the woman that I'd blind buy Mitzvah because reviewers who I trust really liked it, and it's going to be discontinued, and it just sounds right up my alley. But she didn't want me to buy it and, you know, not like it. She was very sweet, and so she cracked open one of their new big bottles of it and sprayed it on a tester strip for me, and it really was love at first whiff. She didn't know if they had a bottle in the smaller size, which is what I wanted, that 4.2 ounce bottle, but they did have it, and I purchased it. Now, as far as your presentation for these are very simple. They come in these white boxes with sort of like a foam insert, very simple. The tube, like the Aqua de Parma scent, sort of, and then just a very nice, classy, understated bottle with a metallic cap that has, you're gonna see CD on the cap and the atomizer, and you get a decent spray out of this. Pretty good. I mean, you're gonna get a pretty decent charge out of Mitzah, and I really love the magnetized caps. So even though it's nothing insane presentation-wise, it's very classy and elegant with that magnetic cap and that nice white sleeve sort of bottle. The perfumer for this scent is the in-house nose at Dior, François Dimache. Notes on this fragrance are very simple: Russian coriander at the top, cinnamon from Sri Lanka in the middle, and white Somalian frankincense at the base. But if you head over to Fragrantica, they also list some more notes, including rose spices, labdanum, patchouli, vanilla, and honey. Now, if you believe the Dior marketing, these scents were produced to commemorate the life of the founder of the company, Christian Dior. When Dior came to Paris in 1940s, he met a woman named Mitzah Brigard. She's in the beginning clip of my video. She's described as an extremely sensual woman who became one of Dior's closest fashion advisors and his muse. And the pieces she really loved were early Dior leopard prints that she heavily influenced. She was also really into pearls, turbans, and stilettos. And so Dimache wanted to honor this woman who did so much behind the scenes to make Dior what it is today. And guys, if you watch my show for a while now, you know it's my opinion that no designer house other than Dior blurs the line between niche and designer quality. So it makes total sense that when they're able to operate with a bigger budget and less marketing constraints, that they would hit bulls right out of the park, and they did. With the exception of one or two scents, these all have excellent quality, and you can really smell the difference. People all sort of rally around Amouage's frankincense, but and I think they get theirs from Oman, but don't sleep on the Somalian incense that Dior uses for their private line fragrances, and don't sleep on the oud that they use either, because when this scent opens up, what you're going to smell is frankincense. Frankincense dominated scent with honey and cinnamon tossed in for good measure. There's a scent that Profumum Roma put out called Arso, and this reminds me of that. It's a smoky, wintry log cabin kind of scent that just brings to mind a crackling fireplace in the cold. This has a lot of that in it. You're also going to get cinnamon and honey, but just expect them to be very dry. It's a fairly linear scent. What you see at the front is what you get at the end. The only real shift evolves as more spice-based, lightly florals come out, but then that happens about 4 or 5 hours in. If you like strong incense scents, you should check this one out. It's a tremendous value. It's also constructed quite well with all the notes playing into each other. Hard to compare it to other scents out there. I think it's made with a higher quality ingredients than the Comme des Garçons incense series. So if you smelled Arso, you can sort of know what to expect from this minus the wood. Take the smokiness of Arso, blend it with the incense of the Comme des Garçons scents, and you'll have a clue of what to expect. This is nowhere close to a gourmand. Even though there's honey and cinnamon, it's a very serious scent, and one that makes quite a statement about who you are. If people ask you what you're wearing and you say Mitzah by Christian Dior, people are going to ask you what that is. You know, when you say Dior, they're going to be surprised. That brand's really known for Eau Sauvage and Fahrenheit and Dior Homme for men. I don't think most people know they have a Privé line. So this sort of tells people that you're into the finer things, but you also like digging and finding scents off the radar. Definitely a more masculine scent. I think all the Privé scents are for the most part unisex though, and these are strong as well. 2 sprays should be plenty. Maybe in the dead of winter you can go more in the chest, one more, but it's strong with better than average longevity and projection. It's a cold weather scent, so keep that in mind, as it is very warming and smoky and really suited for the fall and winter. Now, should you run out and buy this because it's being discontinued? That's hard for me to say, guys. If you like incense-based scents that sort of smack you in the face, check it out. If these sort of scents turn you off, then stay away. You also have to take your value into consideration. These are big bottles, but you are paying a steep entry price. I would say, though, that any sort of real collector needs to have a Dior private line scent, as well as a Tom Ford private blend, a Chanel exclusive, and an Hermes scent. If you're really serious, you maybe want to add one of the Prada numbered perfumes, or an Armani Privé scent as well. It's really fun to see what these major designer labels will put out there when they're not beholden to a mall crowd or their marketing departments. That's how you get the Sycamores and the Mitzahs and the Vetiver Tonkas and the Tobacco Venice of the world. This one, guys, for me is a solid 7 out of 10. The price point, availability, and similarity to other incense scents knock some points off, but it's still really good. Are there better incense scents out there for both more and less money? Absolutely. But this one is pretty good, has a nice story behind it, and I'm happy to have added it to my collection before it's going to be discontinued. Anyway, that is this week's episode of Maximilian Must Know. We will be back next week with another episode of Sample Shopping during the middle of the week. And at the end of the week, we're going to be looking at another niche scent, one perfect for fall from the house of Serge Luton. So expect that. And then coming in October for sure, 100%, part 6 of my collection and my fall starting lineup. Lots more great reviews. Look out for reviews from coming in October from Amouage, D Squared, and Phaedon, and maybe one also by Parfumi Generale or Mansera. So a lot of great stuff coming for you guys in October, including that starting lineup and the finish of my collection video. Thank you so much for watching. Check out Mitzah, check out Sebastian's channel, Man Loves Cologne, and my man Creed Frake's channel as well. I am Maximilian.
Is how the new text came. Figure that the higher I get, the less pain. You dudes is playing checkers, but it's a chess game. Soon as I hit my number, I'm on the next train. I can't explain. My weed's Poudet, diamonds all Blu-ray. Bad chick with me, and we flying down the thruway.
Riding in my drop top, safety on the clock. Chick with me, rolling up stick.